Are you suggesting, Mr. Parthasarathy, that the government knew about this before the meeting in New York?
I would be surprised if they didn't know. I mean, if this is the sort of intrusion, and it was not made public then. So I'm just raising some queries, and the people of India need answers. So I'm not addressing either Mr. Halali or the Air Marshal. I'm addressing people in our country on what has happened, how this is a change of pattern over the last 10 years, and what we need in the future. And let me add one more thing, that I firmly believe in very firm responses to this sort of transgressions. What those responses should be, how they should be affected is a matter for government to decide.
I agree. I agree.
But
I agree. I think it's time for our government also to answer a few questions. We're going to debate that tomorrow. My question tonight, once again, to our guests in Pakistan is very simple, sir. Sir, you see this line of deniability, washing your hands off, getting a veil of deniability. Judging by Kargil, it's all going to spill out. So, Air Vice Marshal and Mr. Hilali, do you want me to pull out more instances of Kargil to tell you how, you cannot repeat the Kargil strategy in Keran? And I'll just once again, Air Vice Marshal, I know you want to respond. If you read that book, yes, Cross Swords, which I did, the book Cross Swords, if you allow me for a minute, by former Army Chief Asif Nawaz's brother Shuja Nawaz, quotes Lieutenant General Khwaja Ziauddin as saying that Sharif was in the loop. And Ziauddin was the ISI boss during Kargil. You also know how your defense analyst, you would know him well, Brigadier Shaukat Qadir, gave full details of how the Kargil plan was broached with Nawaz Sharif around December. He was presented the plan, and he said at that point of time that an incursion like this can give a fillip to the support to Kashmir. So these are not quotations of Indian strategists.
Do not educate me on Kargil.
No, I need to, because you seem to be in denial about it.
I was Chief of Air Force Operations in that period. So I know more details.
So then sir, why don't you admit that you played a role in Kargil?
Yes, I was part of that.
You were part of Kargil?
Yes, I was part of Kargil. I was in the Air Force. I was serving there.
Yes, fantastic.
So you were 1971. Who trained?
So you were aware? Allow me. No. Yes, so you were aware that your country's political leadership was fully on board before Kargil? That there was a briefing between senior army commanders?
I would not like to comment on.
No, why wouldn't you like to comment on that? Let's get you to comment on that. Why wouldn't you like to comment on that? Tell me about it.
Not a political. That was not my level.
No, why would you want to put that deniability? Here you are beginning to reveal a little bit. Let me get you to reveal a little bit more. Musharraf has said that Nawaz Sharif was on board a Kargil plan and had attended a briefing of army commanders. Would you tell me if that was true or not?
No, let me answer him.
I'm asking you tonight. Answer me. Let him answer me.
Arnab, I am answering you. As your diplomat put it very correctly, that after 2004, there were 10 very good years when there was no problem. What has gone wrong since January? I personally...
So again, you're dodging the Kargil question, sir. Sir, you're dodging the Kargil question. You're dodging the Kargil question.
You, in your country, where you claim of democracy and all good values...
Sir, you're dodging my Kargil question. I see you dodge the Kargil question. Why are you dodging it?
Foreign affairs are
Let's talk about Kargil.
People who can... we've talked about it earlier, that
no,
this
sir,
is not your subject. Let your military people, let your foreign office people handle this issue. You people put pressure on your government like Manmohan Singh. This time the question in India was whether he should meet Nawaz Sharif. Here in Pakistan, the question was whether Mr. Nawaz Sharif should meet him or not. Because Manmohan Singh is a weak Prime Minister. He's under pressure from media and so many other unconcerned quarters.
Sir,
he went back after Sharmul Sheikh meeting. So please listen to me. So why don't you leave it to your military people? Why don't you leave it to your politicians and foreign affairs people who know the subject, who will handle it?
Oh, really? So what you want? Well, I think what
there will be no confidence.
I do not. There
will be no confidence building measure.
Let me tell you what confidence building measure. Is this a confidence building measure that you're carrying out in Keran?
It looks to me.
Is this a confidence building measure? What you're doing in Keran, is this a confidence building measure? Who told you to send your people in?
What have what has India done in last 65 years with all its neighboring countries?
Sir, with the
You're
greatest
a terrorist country yourself.
Sir, with the greatest of respect,
In the garb of democracy,
Sir,
you have destabilized Sri Lanka, Nepal
Sir,
is a slave country.
Sir, with the greatest
You want
of,
to treat Pakistan
Sir,
like that?
with the greatest
We
of
will deal with
respect,
them ourselves. Can we
what are you
talk
talking about, sir? You're just admitted.
May I come in?
May I just make one point here before you come in, General?
come in?
1 second, 1 point. I have given our esteemed guest from Karachi today 3 specific examples of Pakistani gentlemen. First, former Army Chief Asif Nawaz's brother Shuja Nawaz. Then I have given the example of Brigadier Shaukat Qadir. Then I will now give the example of the intercept between General Musharraf and Lieutenant General Muhammad Aziz, all of which exposes the role of the Pakistanis in Kargil. The esteemed guest from Pakistan is dodging my questions on Kargil because he knows where I am going. My question is this,
sir. You want your story to be believed and accepted, and we should apologize.
Sir,
that will not happen.
Sir, your country denied a hand in Kargil. Today, at least on 10 occasions in the last 40 minutes, you have admitted your role in Kargil. Who will believe you on Kera?
I had a role. I was on.
Your country, sir, your country and the Air Force you were serving. The defense forces you were serving. That means your entire establishment was lying.
The Air Force. I told you.
Your political class was lying. Musharraf was lying. Nawaz Sharif was lying.
I will not comment on.
Why not, sir?
I will not comment on the political leadership's awareness on this issue.
Why not?
I was not dealing with them.
Well, I think we're getting a counter from General Bakshi who wanted to come in. General Bakshi, please. And after that, Charan Shankar Prasad. Yes.
You know, Arnab, the pattern is very clear. 47, the moment that was over, General Akbar Khan wrote his book, spelled out all the details of precisely how many weapons were given, how the Mahsoods were organized and given the task of going to Srinagar because they could get the largest convoy to carry back the loot and the women. This was the way of liberating the people of Kashmir. You know, and then they said the discipline of these people was loose, and therefore, you know, when they stopped for days to rape in Baramulla, I mean, that is when we were able to fly in troops and change the entire situation. Now you come to 65, Operation Gibraltar has now been spoken of by almost everybody down the line. Come to Kargil, Musharraf himself, the corps commander of 4 corps, they have all openly admitted to their role. And a few months down the line, you will have admissions on Keren. This whole year, the Pakistan deep
there are
state
history books
has
full of
been
what
trying
Mr. Babar,
to assert its control. Can I just finish? Can I just finish?
What are you trying to prove?
Can I just finish? I am trying to prove the pattern of lies that your country has been indulging in, the dissimulation, the falsehood, the constant falsehood. Who believes you in this world?
Who says? And who's the person?
You took $21 billion from the United States and you kept Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad, close to in Pakistan for 9 years.
Mr. Hilali.
You call that trustworthiness?
Understand
you call that trustworthiness? This is what you are doing to your allies.
Is there no
this is what you are doing to your allies. And now you will tell me that Osama bin Laden was not killed in Abbottabad?
You are going back to 48,
that is
65.
Well, I think we need to go back.
We can sit here.
I think we need to go back. No, I think we need to go back.
We need to go back to learn our lessons.
Air Vice Marshal, you know why we need to go back?
Highlight to you a pattern of behavior.
No, 1 second. Air Vice Marshal, I'll tell you this, and I'll tell Mr. Hilali. If you had believed this evidence I brought right on top of the program, but unfortunately, Mr. Hilali and you and Colonel Bashir Wali Muhammad, you all ridiculed this evidence.
Media, I don't trust Indian intelligence.
Yeah, so you don't trust Indian, so you ridicule.
Such formal kind of a thing.
So that's why.
Because your history says you are a terrorist state. You have supported terrorism in all your neighboring countries.
You ridiculed this. You ridiculed this evidence. But that's why I went into history, and I want to remind you.
That is rich.
It is good for a B-grade Bollywood movie.
One second. If you're talking of a B-grade Bollywood movie, I suggest, sir, since you are using stuff language, let me talk to you in the streamed language. then I think the star, the leading hero of that B-grade Bollywood movie should be Asif Ali Zardari, who admitted that Islamabad created and nurtured terrorist elements as a policy to achieve some short-term tactical objectives. Please do not forget that Asif Ali Zardari said that the terrorists of today were the heroes of yesteryear till 9/11 brought things to a new light. That is a candid admission of the realities, quote-unquote, of Asif Ali Zardari, that he should be the leading star in that B-grade Bollywood movie.
What are you adding to my knowledge? That is a universal fact.
Well, I don't know. When I put the facts, it's difficult to answer.
Terrorists that were hanged by the British government in India today are your heroes.
Sir, you admit Keren and you walk out of Keren because the Pakistanis who you've sent are going to get hurt.
He was an Indian hero, but for the Britishers, he was a terrorist.
Sir, those Pakistanis you sent are going to get hurt. You must not try to do this again. General Shankar Prasad. General Shankar Prasad.
But if you said that the guy belonged to Pakistani Kashmir, then he has the right to fight your army in Srinagar.
General Shankar Prasad.
Arnab, this argument can go on. These people can go on denying howsoever convincingly you tell them. Please let them understand one thing, and let's carry this message forward to everybody. Before Kargil, there was Nawaz Sharif's involvement. Today, again, there is Nawaz Sharif's involvement. The Indian Army behaved in a certain manner in Kargil. The Indian Army is going to behave differently now. It's already behaving differently. The entire plan, which has been hashed for the month of September, October, has been crushed. They wanted to induct large quantities of people and weapons inside the Kashmir Valley. It has failed. They are in a desperate state now. Those people who are handling these militants from across the border and want to send them into India are completely defeated and finished. The tactics of Indian Army is now changed. We know exactly how to deal with them. Please understand, stop this thing. There is no point you're only killing your people.
I agree.
You're only producing evidence in front of the world that you are perpetrating terrorism in Kashmir.
I agree.
It is neither good for you nor good for your country.
I agree,
nor
but
good for your army.
I agree, and now
understand that this is not going to pay dividends at all.
No.
You're going to be in serious trouble, and the more you do it, the more the world is going to see it, and the more the world is going to see it, you are going to be the loser.
No, my last question is to Mr. Parthasarathi.
The Indian Army today is geared up to do this.
Last word to Mr. Parthasarathi.
Large number of terrorists this year. We've got such a large number of weapon caches. Please don't indulge in it. You're only absolutely ruining the name of your country, your army, your ISI.
Well,
you cannot succeed anymore.
To many of our viewers, I'd like to say this, that, certainly we do not believe in reporting from Keren without putting the focus on where the root cause of the problem is, which is Pakistan. You cannot report from the LOC unless you clearly draw the link back to Pakistan. My question to Mr. Parthasarathi is,
you will be in a state of denial. The things will never settle down.
Sir, I'll send you all the quotations of all the Pakistanis who have exposed your own state, including your several ministers,
I know them better than you. You have read them in the books. I know these people personally.
I have heard them, I have read them, and I have seen them. And let me tell you, sir, we have read and seen enough. And the Pakistanis who've crossed the border this time are going to get really hurt. They are getting hurt this minute in Keren, and let your country and all its people know that loud and clear, that they are getting hurt in Keren like you got hurt in Kargil. Like you got hurt in Kargil, like you got smashed in Kargil.
This will not be
you are getting smashed in Keren as well.
And us.
There's only one way. You'll get smashed. You ought not to make those misadventures, sir. Why repeat history? Why repeat history? Mr. Parthasarathi, what is the alternative now for the Indian government? We keep talking about these in terms of incursions. How are we going to deal with it?
Let me say, I would like to end in a serious note as to why this is a matter of concern. Ahmed Rashid, who is one of Pakistan's best known writers, has written very extensively recently where he said Pakistan has landed itself into a three-front situation. The first front within its own country, dealing with the Tehreek-e-Taliban-e-Pakistan, the situation in Balochistan, and the growing sectarian violence across the country. The second front is across the Durand line, where they are training the Taliban and the Haqqani network to destabilize the Karzai government. The third front they have opened is the front now in Jammu and Kashmir, but it has been a continuing front as far as what they called as low-intensity conflict is concerned. I hope Pakistan realizes the vulnerabilities of a three-front situation. And I hope the government of India realizes that when somebody is harming you, faced with a three-front situation, you have a lot of options to do what is right in order to deal with it.
Well, I hope they look at those options, whatever those options may be, but clearly are trying to underplay the developments in Kerala. No answer for that. To both the generals and to Mr. Parthasarathy and to our guests in Pakistan, with whom we lost the satellite link in between, thank you very much for joining us on the News Hour debate tonight. How should India deal with it? We're going to look at that, and we have the maximum presence on the ground with 6 reporting teams right there as of this moment.